Hi, my name is Zachary Olson and welcome to Sitka, Alaska. This is my fishing vessel Sassy, and this is my home port, and I am fishing for Sitka salmon shares. So Sassy was built in 1979 in Bellingham, Washington, and her primary construction is all aluminum, and this is one of the things I really appreciate about this vessel is that it's really low maintenance and she's easier to take care of, and for the amount of energy that we spend during the season, having a lower maintenance boat is really a positive thing to have on board. So most aluminum boats are really blocky looking, and if you look down her rail, she's got some more of the classic lines that some of the older wood trollers have. It kind of spices her up a little bit, which is something that's one of my favorite things to look at. And I get a lot of comments from other fishermen that for an aluminum boat, she has some really nice lines to her. So why don't we step on the back deck and I'll show you a little bit more of the features that I like about her. And so this is where my fish are going to be stored. These are fish hatches right here. And so when a fish comes on, I'm going to dress your fish back here and make sure it's just absolutely spotless. Fish are going to come forward into this checker box here, and then I'm going to put them into my fish hold. And so I will put salt water in here. We make what is called champagne. It turns like a really nice green, and your fish are going to be slushed in there. Sometimes I will ice my fish, but for what we're doing, I'm slushing my fish because I'm only doing short trips. So this is some of my fishing gear that I'm using for right now for the spring king fishing. It will be some of the same gear I'll be using for our big July 1 opener. And so what I have here is a couple of different baits that are pretty popular. These are called hoochies. We dress them up by putting a nice little skirt on the inside, and this is called a flasher. And so what this is doing is mimicking a school of fish, and that salmon is going to be attracted by this flasher, and then they're going to see this nice offering that I have right behind it. And hopefully the boat is over some fish. The one nice thing about aluminum boats is their electrical conductivity. It seems to really attract a lot of fish and draw them in, which is a really nice positive attribute for having a metal boat. This is a Dickinson Oil Stove. This is supplying heat, and we do need to run heat inside even during the summertime because everything's so damp. You need to keep everything dried out the best you can. And it also doubles as where I do most of my cooking. Got a nice little double sink. This is really important to have a little bit of counter space and to be comfortable in your surroundings. It makes for a much nicer trip when you're out on the water for days and days and days at a time. So moving forward, we have what most boats have on board, which is going to be your fish finder, which is helpful, lets you see the bottom, lets you see the bait, lets you see the fish if they're there. We've got a radar, so we hit a lot of fog up here. The radar is a very important, and I just updated this past spring. Navigation on board, and I can see exactly where I am at even in complete darkness, coming into some very tight small spaces in the evening time. This reduces a lot of stress, and it lets me know exactly where I am at all times. This is all GPS grounded. So I'm a big fan of the Furuno. This is telling me what my boat's doing at all times as far as my power and my speed and everything else that I'm doing. And this is my autopilot, which is one of my favorite features because I do fish alone. So I have to be able to put my boat on autopilot and let the boat steer itself while I'm in the back working up all the fish that I'm catching for my customers. So I really appreciate you all coming on board today to see where I live during the summertime. I fish for 6 months out of the year, and the important thing is I have to make my living during that time. And the benefit of that is that as soon as my fishing season is over, I get 6 months off to spend with my family, my daughter, my grandchildren, my mother, my sister, my brother. And so this is really important to me. When I'm up here working, I'm working, but I so enjoy my off time so I can go home and just spend time with my family. And to be honest with you, my body mentally and physically needs that rehab in the 6 months to get ready for the next season. I do plan on doing this for the rest of my career.